Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Magically Cruising, the cruise podcast where we share our personal cruise tips and reviews to help you make the most out of your next sailing. My name's Kieran. I'm an independent travel agent specialising in all things cruise, Disney and North America, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I write at Cruising with Kids and Mini Travellers with cruise and travel advice.
And today, Sarah, we're going to talk about something that we're both very passionate about, and we have these debates all the time. But we thought we'd do an update on this because we did a whole series last year, didn't we, on kind of guide to different drinks packages on board cruise lines. And I think the fact that we did an entire series proves why this is such a popular topic. But today we kind of want to ask the question, are drinks packages still worth the money that they're being charged for? It's a really long-winded way to say that, but
yeah,
it's kind of a bit of a conversation about, is the drinks package actually worth it anymore? And are you going to get value out of it if you are taking out a drinks package? So this is kind of a topic that you came up with, Sarah. So do you want to maybe jump off and start off with your kind of first thoughts on it?
Well, I suppose when we started cruising, we were doing it to get away from the all-inclusive resorts where everyone just gets really drunk, and that wasn't my thing, but I like to have a drink. And then the cruise drinks package was like £30, weren't they? 20. I mean, we paid 20 for a Royal Caribbean, £30 a day. And you have a nice leisurely drink. But I think what's happened is they've gone up and up and up. And when you're talking now that like £70, £80 a day, and I feel like what that's done is created an environment where people feel like they have to get their money's worth. So yeah, you could drink more than that quite easily. But I think people that aren't necessarily drinkers are drinking more than that. And that's causing a lot. I think that's causing a lot of what we're seeing, a lot of the, Carnival this week. Again, it's...
the Carnival weekly brawl.
Other cruise ships do have fights, but I don't know. Is it creating that environment where people are just getting too drunk? And
it's interesting, isn't it? Because my cruise experience before COVID, I did Disney basically, and Disney don't have a drinks package, and I saw a lot of yummy mummies who were very wealthy walking around drinking martinis left, right, and centre type of thing, and it was a very boozy cruise, to be honest. And we got incredibly drunk. I've had many hangovers on Disney Cruise Line. But my bar tab bill at the end of that voyage scared the crap out of me. I've spent a lot of money on cocktails this voyage. And then equally, post-COVID, we did Princess was our first experience of having an all-inclusive drinks package. And you are right, definitely. I remember thinking, and I think there's a lot of it was post-COVID. It was our first holiday post-COVID. So there was a lot of like revenge travel mixed up in this. But we had the drinks package, and I was determined to hit that 15 drinks limit to maximize the value out of the drinks package that I paid for, type of thing. Now, I would probably do that anyway if I was in a drinky party mood, but I think it does change your perspective on how much you're drinking and what you're drinking, because either there's a drinks number limit or you have unlimited drinks. Like with Royal, for example, they don't put a number of drink limit. It's just drink responsibly limit. I Celebrity is another one as well. I had the drinks package on Celebrity, and it's the worst hangover I've ever had, because I was so drunk.
Yeah, I mean, you know that I like a drink. So it's not like we've not booked a drinks package for the next cruise because it was going to cost us like £1,600 for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That just seems a lot. We're not going to restrict ourselves, but we're probably going to spend £1,000. There's going to be days where we're off ship. I don't know. I just don't know if it's got into this circle of you got a drinks package, just drink as much as you can. And as I say, I like a drink. I am not, but I just think, I don't know, some of the stuff I've seen on my last few cruises. I mean, on the NCL cruise, people were blooded before we'd gone out of port. And then, that booze cruise, don't even get me started.
Awful in there, yeah. My Princess one was a shocker. I think that's the thing, though, because I've done MSC on a 7-night sailing where I had the drinks package as well. And it's funny, now that we were talking about this before we started filming, when we were having that catch-up yesterday, I had to think back basically about the number of times I've had really awful, disgusting hangovers at sea. And they've all been on cruises where I've had the drinks package. And they've always been usually the first sea day as well. So obviously you're drinking all day, you're having a merry, having a laugh, and guaranteed the next day has always been the worst hangover I've ever had, just because you're drinking as soon as you get up, because you're like, oh, well, why not? I might as well have a sparkling with my breakfast or whatever. Then you're at least lunchtime, nothing else to do on the ship. No, there's nothing else to do on the cruise ship, but you're captive on the ship for a sea day. So you kind of like, you feel like you might as well treat yourself and go for it. And because you can drink, because there's no limit, you just go, well, might as well get started. Then you're drinking in the afternoon, then you're drinking at dinner, then you're in the nightclub or you're in the lounge until, 1, 2 in the morning still drinking as well. And I think on MSC, I was up until at least 4 a.m. drinking in one of the bars that was open that late. On Princess, when we had it, I was in the foyer drinking easily until 3:30 in the morning on Ocean Now, ordering cocktails to get delivered to us. Group of friends sat having a laugh and a joke. Like, it was really lovely, don't get me wrong, but I paid for that the next day, definitely. Whereas thinking to other ships like Disney and Virgin, I've had one hangover on 9 Virgin Voyages because, again, they don't have a drinks package. They have the bar tab. You have money to put behind the bar. Thing with Disney, I did have a hangover on Disney, but it wasn't. It was my own fault because I was mixing.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? It's I will always have a drink, and I'm not going to go on the next cruise and think I'm not going to have a drink. But then, would I be more giddy because it's just I'm thinking, well, I've got the drinks package, and
why not?
We're adults and we can drink responsibly, but I don't know. There's a line, and I just feel like all we see in the news at the moment is people fighting on cruises.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, if they were £30, people are still going to get them. But I suppose what the cruise lines seem to be doing is putting them up and up and up. Now, are they doing that because people are going mad and they've got to cover their costs?
I'm not convinced it is. I think it's an extra revenue stream for them ultimately, and they know that the core market wants a drinks package at the end of the day. It's a holiday or vacation. They're a way to have a good time. The last thing the majority of people want to be doing is not stressing about how much am I spending, type of thing. But I think, and again, this is why we thought we'd do this episode as well. It's because it's not just the drinks package that you're having to factor into your mathematics when you're booking your cruise or you're booking your package now. It's all the extras that cruise lines are now starting to add into it. Like Celebrity have got their all included, where you get your drinks package and your Wi-Fi. Princess and Princess Premier, Princess Plus, and that's a whole conversation about, what you get with your drinks and then your desserts and your fitness classes and Princess prizes and all that type of stuff. And then even Holland America are in on the game, and they've got, have it all with Holland America, whereby you get in your gratuities, your Wi-Fi, and the drinks package pre-packaged in at a perceived reduced value type of thing. So again, is it actually is it reduced value though? Because you're paying for all the extra bits into it. You just happen to get the drinks package because they know that's what people actually want out of all those extras. And again, that's creating this, as you say, false economy where people are going, well, I need to get my money's worth. And I've been quoted saying that so many times on these cruises where I've had the drinks package of, well, I got to get my money's worth. I got to have my 6 a day. It's like, would you normally though? Would you just have 1 or 2 if you were not drinking for the sake of it?
Well, when we did the last cruise, not the last one, the one before, the Mexico one with friends, and her husband doesn't really drink. He'd have 2 beers a day. Yeah. So she couldn't get the drinks package because it just would have been silly. And they didn't spend any more than us. And she had drinks when I had drinks. So they didn't spend any more. So it just shows that maybe you panic about spending a fortune, so you get the drinks package, when actually you probably wouldn't, because you wouldn't have that extra wine just before you go back to your room to get ready. You'd probably have a water, or so, I don't know.
Well, it's to me and Phil, we were thinking of cancelling the transatlantic cruise that we've booked on together, just because I was afraid of like the Wi-Fi bill and the drinks package bill and things like that. And then as we got closer towards the deadline when we had to make our mind up, I said to Phil, I was like, we don't need to drink every single day type of thing. We don't have to drink excessively to warrant, as you said, it was something like 1,200, something like that, wasn't it, for 2 people?
Yeah.
Like, do we need to be drinking? And we probably could easily drink that over the course of the voyage. But I think, as you say, our drinking habit would be different. We would probably start drinking a lot earlier in the day because we knew we could. And there are other equations into that as well, of things like barista coffees and soft drinks and things like that. You'd have to pay for them possibly. So this is what we're saying, isn't it? It's not as straightforward as just, is it just about alcohol? The cruise lines now are packaging them in such a way that it's actually enticing, that it's almost enabling this kind of panic, this FOMO of, if I don't get it, I'm going to miss out. I'm either not going to drink as much as I want to and I won't enjoy it, or I'm going to stress the entire time about what I'm spending.
And it's really weird because obviously we've got a Celebrity and a Royal Caribbean cruise booked, and the Royal Caribbean, the Celebrity packaged it all in together, and we got a really good deal. And that actually felt like much better value, because when you Royal Caribbean, they don't package it, do they? So then you're buying it extra. And it just feels like it's a lot more. Now, we're in a suite, so we've got the suite lounge, but you're not going to sit in the suite lounge for 2 weeks when you've got the whole of the Oasis of the Seas.
Yeah.
So we will be spending money on drinks, and that's why we're saying, do we need one or not? So I know that we're going to have soft drinks and all that included, and coffee, so that's probably a big factor. But the fact that the Celebrity, which is a more expensive cruise line, but a sister cruise line, felt like a better deal because they've packaged it better.
And I don't really understand why that is, why two companies under the same like group ultimately have very different pricing structures for kind of the drinks packages. Like, the fact that Celebrity, when you book with me, at least anyway, I can't add on the drinks package, but I can add on all included, which are the drinks package and the Wi-Fi package together, which for me is the two things I worry about when I'm booking the cruise is how am I budgeting for drinks and can I get Wi-Fi? So I think it's a great package. It's a shame that gratuities have gone out of it, but that's a whole other conversation about gratuities in the industry and the way that's going. But I think it's nice to know that you've got that sorted. And I don't know whether it's a kind of positioning point of view, because Celebrity tends to be more towards the more mature market, the more experienced and the kind of, middle income up kind of bracket, whereas Royal is equally still premium, but it's more family multi-gen. So you'll have different types of people on board, maybe not so many people working from ship as you may find on Celebrity. I don't know why. Just interesting, like you say, isn't it? That the drinks package on Royal is considerably more expensive than it is on Celebrity, but also the fact there is no way to pre-package it into your cruise fare either.
Yeah, maybe it is because it's a younger demographic that drink more. Maybe that's what
It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think as well, actually thinking about it, part of it could be because as well, the Royal Core product from America, at least anyway, is a lot of those 3, 4, 5 night sailings, kind of short cruises type of thing. And maybe they do it to kind of edge them out of the Carnival crowd. So they're not getting the people looking for a booze weekend away. So by making it that it is a bit of a barrier of entry to get the drinks package, because it's quite expensive. Like I personally don't think you'd be paying the prices Royal are asking to go away purposely on a specific booze cruise. In my opinion, I wouldn't pay that price to do that. I'd pick another cruise line if I was going for a booze cruise.
And the funny thing, actually, because this is what got me thinking about this, it was and I'm sure Carnival isn't all fights, but I think that's what you see. Well, that's what we see in the UK, social media. Yeah. And I've always been really curious about Carnival, but this has put me off because there's so many fights you keep seeing. And somebody put today, well, when they're banned, where will they go next?
MSC.
But they'd put Royal, but would it be MSC? It probably would, wouldn't it, on price point?
Yeah. It is interesting. Like, I've got no first-hand experience with Carnival, and they're not, for us in the UK, they're not a very big brand to sell. I think they're making steps to improve their footprint in the UK. We've got ships now sailing year-round, and they're bringing more ships than ever over to Europe. So I think, ask me in 5 years' time, and possibly they could be more of a conversation piece. And they've just announced now that they're ordering 3 more ships of 80,000 passengers. Sorry, 8,000, not 80, 8,000 passengers.
An island.
So they're definitely they're coming in big, and they're already one of the largest fleets in the world, and they're coming in with big passenger ships now as well. So ask me in 5 years, the UK relationship with Carnival may be very different, but you're correct. The reputation that most of us have is that they are the party ship. So if you want to go away for kind of a party vibe, you want really fun, lively, loud, live music, all that type of stuff. And the perception is, yes, there's a lot of fights that break out on it. There's a lot of arguments that break out on Carnival. So it does have a bit of that perception of being a little bit rough around the edges, and the clientele that go on there are. But I've heard lovely stories of people who've had lovely cruises.
It probably isn't, though, is it? Because I don't think I would go on a Carnival out of England just because they just seem to send all their old ships here.
Really old ships, yeah.
I ain't going on that. So I think, this lady that I talk to at the theatre all the time, and she likes cruising, and she went on a Carnival this year, and she said it was just awful, but it was a really, really old ship. Then equally, there's people that have read our site and people in our group that love Carnival. So that's not their core demographic. But what's happened is because of the drinking and because of and social media and videoing, because of all that, that's what you're seeing. You're not seeing the normal people that aren't causing any trouble, are you? You're only seeing the people that are having fights. It's like in our village the other day, and there's some workmen meant to be doing some work, and some woman has gone and videoed them on their phone in their car. And, you just think, where's their privacy? They were probably on their lunch break.
Yeah.
And she's gone and videoed her and said, no wonder we get nothing done. And it's like, and I didn't comment because I thought if I comment, I'm going to have a row with her because she had no right to do that. Just why would you video someone?
we have more like access to video equipment now. Everyone's got a mobile phone with a smart camera and a phone and a video device now. So I think we're seeing more of this stuff. And obviously with the prevalence of TikTok, sharing short form content more easily, I think it's just a 1 minute fight on a cruise ship is fodder for good views. I think, I'm not aware of the fact as well, like you can get stuck in loops on Twitter, you can get stuck in loops on TikTok of fights breaking out. Even though they're against like the content rules, they don't want that content spreading, but they go viral at the end of the day. And then because you've seen one fight, the algorithm goes, oh, you like videos like that, I'm going to suggest 7 of them. You then get stuck in this loop of watching fights breaking out on cruise ships. And as you say, I'd say 9 out of 10, they're going to be on a Carnival ship, are the ones that I see anyway. But I think it's just because it's so easy to share that content now. That's why we probably see more of it than ever.
I'm not being funny as well. I'd be scared to video it because if they can fight with each other, they can come batter me for videoing it. I mean,
the one I've watched, the guy is saying that. He's like, my guy, I'm just filming it. I'm not involved. I'm like, just get out of the room. Like,
no, but it's like, I mean, I'd video a peer runner because they're that's just like, they go viral all the time. So I'd definitely do that. But I wouldn't just video someone going about their business and fighting. I wouldn't take the risk. I think it's probably a bit unfair on the Carnival demographic and the people that really love the brand, that are nice people, because we're judging the whole brand on what we're seeing, but that's all we see. So it's difficult, isn't it? And it's like Royal Caribbean. What do you hear most of? Kids pooing in the pool. That's what you hear most of. It's on all the Facebook groups at the moment. Women, my child's not potty trained, but he'll be all right in the pool. And then you've got like a whole, and I agree, do not take your child in the pool. The last Royal Caribbean cruise we were on, one pool was constantly shut down because of kids. So it's the same, isn't it? But then not all the pools on all the Royal Caribbean ships are shut down, but that's what you see. And that's sometimes what causes what people see and what they gather an opinion on.
Well, I was just looking at, I'm going to have a little look on Carl's website because I've never sold a Carnival cruise because, like I say, the demand is just so small in the UK. I got very close and it never went further. But like their drinks package prices, these are US dollar prices. Their Cheers drinks program, and by my understanding, if you're in the fun loyalty club, if you're in all the different loyalty clubs and you've got shares, there's different ways to bring these prices down. Yeah. But the advertised price per day per person is $70.74 for the drinks package. That's for...
So it's the same, a roll £70, isn't
it? So it's not a particularly cheap drinks package at the end of the day. You can get 10% off that price if you book before you sail. And like I say, I'm aware of...
Is it the 15 drink roll because it's a Carnival brand?
I would guess so. I'm not sure if it will go into that detail here. But I would... oh, yeah, it is, yeah. Once you consume 15 drinks, you cannot purchase any more alcoholic beverages. So they have the Carnival brand 15 limit as well on their drinks package. And that's not a particularly cheap drinks package. And from my memory, we bought the Holland America just because of the way we were booked onto the ship at the time. We had to buy the drinks package. We couldn't have it all. But I'm pretty sure, I remember paying about $1,300 for 7 nights for our drinks package. And that equally has the... 15 drink limit, and it didn't include soft drinks. It didn't include barista coffees. It was quite an expensive drinks package for what we got. But again, Holland America doesn't attract that type of crowd, the boozy crowd. Don't get me wrong. Big drinkers, definitely. Mature big drinkers, sat on the casino, live music, smokers, all that type of, whiskey drinking, solid hard drinkers. But I don't think it's people going away, at least in my experience of the Alaska cruise. People aren't going to Alaska to get absolutely off their mind drunk type of thing.
I'm just looking now to see what the prices are on our next Royal Cruise because they update all the time. That's another thing with Royal Caribbean. And this year we had at one stage 2 cruises booked and both prices were different. Yeah. So for this cruise,
drives me crazy.
One stage, they were 40.
Oh, here we go. So this sums up this conversation then. So we'll jump back to Royal in a second because that is another conversation as well. But looking at Royal now, I'm on Holland America's website, but this is just synonymous with this whole packaged in versus the drinks package by itself. So if you want to upgrade and add on, have it all to your Holland America cruise, and I know we don't talk about Holland too much, but their signature drinks package is their kind of allowed drinks up to $11. That's the best way to explain it. So any drink you want up to $11 includes gratuities. includes a specialty dining credit, includes shore excursion credit, and includes Wi-Fi, if I've not mentioned that already. That's £55 per person per day. So I don't know what that is in US dollars. That's probably going to be around about the $80 per person per day, I would guess. However, the drinks package, the signature drinks package alone is $84.95, plus gratuity on top of that then as well, for the exact same thing. So for around about $30 more, you're getting the specialty dining credit, you get in the Wi-Fi, your tips are taken care of, your prepaid gratuities, all that type of stuff as well. It just seems like a no-brainer that to kind of upsell you basically onto the Have It All package.
It's £55 a day at the moment, Royal. And that's buy one, get one half price. So a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, I think we got them for £30, £30 a drinks package.
Yeah, the year after COVID, I think the year COVID resumed, you could get the drinks package for like £25, £30 per person per day. It was an absolute steal. I haven't seen it go back down that low. We can't add on the drinks package as agents. There's no way, at least in the UK, I'm not sure about the US, but there's no way for us to add it on. If you would come to me and say, I want to add on the drinks package, I can't. You've got to go and book it direct with Royal. And for some reason, like you say, they just vary the price. They vary it by ship, by sailing. They add random savings on. They do all kinds of shenanigans with the drinks package. I think I get an email a week. I did anyway until we cancelled the cruise, but I got an email a week basically saying it's your last chance to save 30% off your drinks package. I was like, until next week?
Yeah. Do you know, I've not had one.
Haven't you? Have you answered it on yet?
No, I've not had one email. See, it's that same old, same old. Nobody wants to sell to me. Honestly, they just don't, do they?
I promise you, I could probably go through and check the number of emails. We were booked on that cruise for almost a year, but yeah, look, let me go through now. So flash sale, booking, countdown to start your savings, pretty much weekly that I would get emails. Like I've just quickly put together a couple, and that's 55 emails I've got about, let me put in the booking reference. That'll be a better way. This is such a tangent, like, well, welcome to this podcast.
Do you think I've got the wrong email?
Now, in total, probably, 67 emails I've had since we booked that cruise, and we booked that cruise last October. It's now July. So what's that, 9 months, something like that? 55 emails, and bear in mind, I'm the agent on the booking, so the booking confirmation goes to my work email address. This is my one that I've got linked to my Royal booking. So I've had 65 emails about pre-cruise add-ons for Royal Caribbean, about the drinks package, either add it on now, get saving, last chance.
Okay, one.
There was once a time, Sarah, last November, Black Friday, when it was 40% off the deluxe drinks package.
I've not had one, and it is the right email. I have not had one. How mad is that? I don't get them from Celebrity either.
It's on you. I get Celebrity. I get them all. Bill does say to me though all the time, and I'm the consummate, like, I love to be sold to. So even by moaning about the fact that I've 65 emails, I'm like, oh, let me see what savings I'm getting today. I'm like, oh, it's the same as last week. Oh well, I love being sold to.
Hey, it's just mad, isn't it? It's just mad that I've not had all those.
This is so funny though, right? So like, there's one email now, literally dated, the last one I had was the 9th of July. 48-hour flash sale, 35% off. Oh, 30% off the drinks package you've got, and the countdown's gone now, so I don't know how many days were left on that one. But then I go back literally a month before, and I've got the same 24-hour flash sale, 30% off now. Like, just every month, flash sale to get me to buy that drinks package.
It's just bad, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be worth it for us with the Sweet Lounge. Yep. But yeah, it really just got me thinking about it, because actually, you know, like we said at the beginning, like, do you really need it? Have we got, because it is definitely, when they started, forget COVID, they were £20, £30. And I know that we've had inflation and all that, but alcohol has not gone up that much. Yeah. So they've hooped us in, haven't they, all the cruise lines? And, you know, I'm a very pro-royal, but all of the cruise lines have hooked us in, wound us in, and now we feel like we have to have it, and they've doubled the prices. And that's shocking.
100%. Yeah. Because I get asked all the time, and it is for some people in the UK at least, it's a decision maker. Do I get the drinks package? It's weird. P&O customers, not so much. And I don't know whether it's because I can't sell it. Well, I can actually now, but I rarely get asked by P&O customers for a drinks package. I don't know why that is. But if I'm booking Royal, if I'm booking Celebrity, or if I'm booking Virgin especially, and Virgin doesn't have a drinks package, I am constantly asked about, how much it is to add it on, how much it drinks. There's a lot more conversations around the premium cruise lines in my perception of how much it drinks or can I get a package to save money on drinks than there is possibly on the kind of 4-star cruise lines.
And P&O, I mean, that's a lot cheaper.
I can't remember a time I've sold an MSC cruise without a drinks package. I cannot for the life of me remember when I've not sold it, even if it's just the soft drinks package. For the life of me, I cannot, in all the MSC bookings I've made, record a time when I've never sold a drinks package and the cruise.
Oh no, look, P&O's gone up to 60 quid a day as well.
It's all changed with P&O as well, Nick, so you can no longer take on litre bottles of spirits anymore now.
Oh yeah, 48 the classic.
Now they put the price up, I may start actually getting asked to add it on, but until they changed that rule, I don't think many people did add it on. It was very rare.
It was £30 a day when I went on the year before last. So that, again,
Bargain.
double. And you could we took the bottle of spirit because my friend just thought, oh, okay, but we didn't drink it because you got a drinks package. You don't need to, do you?
Yeah.
But actually, and that's another thing, it's like you can take a bottle of wine. So actually, when you think, if you've got a bottle of wine each, that's a drink on your balcony anyway for a couple of nights.
Oh, well, a bottle of wine won't last me a night. It'll be gone by the time my hair's dry.
Just have one glass.
I've never known a time. Like, I don't know. I've got this weird thing about always going flat if I take the bottle off, take the cork off, so I've got to drink it.
Well, the last podcast we did at sea, did you not drink a whole bottle of fizz?
I did. Took the whole bottle before I left my room by the end of the podcast type of thing. And I was like, I got it now because it's been opened. It's going to aerate.
I mean, really, I don't know what the point of this podcast is because we don't know the answer, do we? But if we're asking the question, that's the reason we've done it.
Yeah.
Everybody else must be asking the question too. What's right? What's wrong? Are people getting too drunk because of it? But not because of it, because they've put the prices up so much that people psychologically feel they've got to get their value.
Yeah. Well, when like a third of the price of your cruise is your drinks package, you are going to be determined to make sure you get value for money for it. Whether or not you've added just the drinks package on, or whether or not you've gone and added one of Princess Premier, Princess Plus, have it all included, you're going to want to get the value for the money for that type of thing because you've seen it as a transaction on your invoice, on your bill, on your room bill. Yes. You're going to want to go, I want to make sure I'm getting what I'm paying for at the end of the day. So it does, by proxy, create this whole FOMO of if you don't have it, you're going to miss out on enjoying yourself. If you do have it, you're going to want to get value for it. And I do think definitely, I notice when I've got it, the drinks package, I drink more during the daytime. Whereas if I haven't, like when I'm on Disney or when I'm on Virgin, I generally won't start drinking until about 3-4 in the afternoon. And even then, that's on a sea day. If I'm on a port day, I won't drink until I get back to the ship and I go out for my meal in the evening because there's no incentive to drink if you get me because I'm paying because it comes off a balance of every single time I drink.
It's funny because this conversation the other day with Donna. So, because they're not always cruising in suite. Sometimes they go balcony mini suite. So she said, well, we'll get up and, because I'm going to do yoga every day. 14 nights at sea, 8 days straight. So I'm going to do yoga every day. So she said, well, we're not going to probably start drinking till 3 o'clock. And I said, Donna, we're in the suite lounge. We're in the coastal kitchen. Oh, yeah, we might have a wine. We're lunch, might and we might have some fish for breakfast. She was like, yeah, we might.
And say it's fish for breakfast.
That is it.
Yeah.
Because it's there. We maybe would if it wasn't.
Yeah.
So
that is... Well, seeing that river cruising, as you said on river cruising, so it would be in the mornings. They were like, oh, would you like a mimosa for breakfast? Oh, is she going to offer me one? Definitely.
Yeah, that's it. So
I will not say no.
That's it. But if you was adding 100 quid over a couple of weeks to your bill, then you might think, and I'm not saying, we don't really worry about what we spend. And as I know you don't, you think, if I want it, I'm going to have it. But then you are mindful that you also don't want a £2,000 bar bill at the end.
We have been debating it, and it depends on which cruise line we book next, because we're thinking for next year to try and do a cruise either with Celebrity or with Disney. And obviously that will affect the drinks package is a deciding factor to some extent with them, because Disney have 0 drinks packages. You pay per drink, and it can get quite expensive to have like a merry time on a Disney cruise. Versus Celebrity, the reason why we're leaning towards them is because you can package in the all-included package and you can have the drinks package and Wi-Fi sorted. Whereas with Disney, you're paying that premium, and then you've then got to pay the premium for the drinks on board, and you've got to pay for a Wi-Fi package on board. So it is a deciding factor at the end of the day, but I would love both cruise lines for different reasons.
And maybe it's an age thing. Maybe I'm getting just as I hit my 50s. Maybe it's I I don't know. Maybe I don't want the boozy environment as much. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, because you change, don't you? I definitely think we've changed.
Yeah.
We are now thinking we love Royal. Royal has served us so well, and we had an amazing time the next time, and we will do more Royals. But I think eventually we're going to be flitting over towards celebrity, and that's because I suppose we're just not older, because I'm not older in my mind. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's a bit more chilled. It's a bit more space around the pool.
Yes.
You don't want to not go in the pool because somebody's pooed in it. That it's just honestly.
I just asked for one thing. That's all I asked for.
But then, I mean, honestly, on that last cruise, there was a lot of kids on, and they weren't doing anything wrong. They were all having a really good time. But Jack wouldn't even go in the pool, because he was saying, I ain't going in the pool with that lot, because it was packed. It was like you couldn't move in the pool. And
definitely.
We've booked a land resort. We've booked a sunny resort next year, because I want somewhere with a pool. And I think I'm starting to factor that out of cruises. Well, what I've got to do is go with cruise ships with less people on to get that space, maybe.
And that's why we book premium, though, as well. We've talked about it before. That's what Celebrity specialise in, is what Virgin is to some extent. For the size of ships they are, and for the guest numbers, they've got more space per guest than the mainstream cruise lines. And that's a lot of the reason why you pay a premium for brands like Celebrity, like Virgin, and a lot of the 6-star lines. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for that abundance of space per guest, so that you can, if you want to go in the pool, have that type of experience. And because then you're not going to be sat in a large, lounge where everyone's drinking and everyone's chanting and raving, because there's only so much space available in the evenings. That's the premium you pay for. That's the reason why I loved my time on Celebrity. Walking into Eden, there's no mad rush. You're not fighting to get to the bar. You're not rushing to get a drink. Eden, it's wide, it's open, it's spacious, but it's one of 3-4 venues that are doing nightlife entertainment on board. So everyone's spread out and you've got room to breathe. Virgin's quite similar as well. It can be a bit of a fun fight to get like the sun beds and the day beds and things like that. But there's plenty of space if you just go somewhere else on board the ship. You're not going to struggle to find somewhere. You just may not get your first choice, but that's the premium that people pay for at the end of the day.
And maybe, I mean, again, this is getting away from alcohol and getting back to pools, but maybe they need, some of these laws are old, aren't they? So the maritime law about no diapers in the pool, nappies, maybe they need to change that, because if kids were wearing it, there wouldn't be the problem. So rather than going, they can't go in, and parents just go, well, I'm not going to put a nappy on them, and I'm going to say they're toilet trained and they just had an accident, because that's what's happening. If they change the laws, surely that's better for everybody involved, especially with norovirus and stuff like that. You'd think that would be better, because it's only at sea, that law.
I don't have enough skin in the game to really kind of get involved in it, because I've never taken kids on board, and we but when we go on the cruise lines, we pick cruise lines that have adult areas, just so we know we don't have to go by it. So if a cruise line has an adult-only pool, that's going to be a strong reason for us to book it. Or we pick cruise lines like Celebrity, where we know there's not going to be as many kids. I love Royal anyway. I've been on Royal. I love Royal, but the reason why we don't rush to book Royal personally is for that reason. We would rather book someone like Celebrity, Virgin, or Disney, where we know we're going to have the adult-only district, the adult-only bar, the adult-only pools, just so we can get away from them. Now, I know Royal have them. They're just not as in abundance. It is primarily a multi-generational product. So I can't say, like Princess itself, even though the new ships have got kids splash pools and all that type of stuff, they're very much, their core demographic is going to be the more mature sailor, the older customer type of thing. So I never had to face a diaper in a pool, to be honest. Or
when we started cruising, there was just less kids cruising. And obviously now there's a lot more families, the ships are bigger, and it's amazing, and families should have that opportunity. But I also think parents have got a responsibility to think of other people and not do stuff like that. I think it's no good thinking, well, it's my holiday, my child wants to go in that pool. Research it. If they can't go in the pool, don't take them. And then somebody put in our group the other week, but the slush pools they can't swim in. Well, they can't swim anyway.
Unless
you've got a 1-year-old.
And they'll have more fun in a splash area. Trained for the next Olympics.
Swimming along, all the adults.
It's the best one here is he's training for the Olympics and he can't miss a week.
But it's just changed so much, hasn't it? But I mean, on going down the Princess route, I mean, I haven't read it fully, but I think a lot of the family-friendly things that were going to be on it aren't going to be, are they?
No, and I haven't read it fully either. I've just seen that, the splash pad is still opening, but it's the roller coaster or the zip wire coaster thing and the if I'm right, the
climbing thing.
rope gym, the
Yeah.
rope thing, that's not going to open. And I've not read a reason why, and I've not heard a rumor why, to be honest. Our Princess sales reps are so tight-lipped they could actually hold state secrets if they wanted to. So I actually have no idea what's going on with that and why that's not happening. But it's interesting that they built an entire section of a ship and it's not opening 6 months after the ship's been sailing.
You wouldn't be happy, would you, if you was booked that as a family cruise? And
No.
you would not be happy.
Yeah. Well, it was going to be something, and it's not really the point of this episode, but it was something I wanted to touch upon as we're talking about it. But it's just kind of like this race, tangential to the podcast as we are. It's this race to the multi-gen market that we see in some of the cruise lines do.
Oh.
And I think, again, this factors into the drinks package as well, though, and why they're offering it the way they offer it. But it seems like more and more of the cruise lines, like P&O, MSC, Celebrity, are now trying to do it in their own little way. Royal especially. Now Princess are trying to attract the more multi-gen market than ever. It's just how those two things marry in at the end of the day. The fact if you're going on a cruise line and you're taking more and more kids on board, then you've got a lot of mature customers on board who are old into drink, and they're getting things like the drinks packages. Are actually those two spaces conducive of each other? Whereby you've got adults like myself and Phil who are very big drinkers who want to get drunk and go to the nightclub at night times and enjoy that side of a ship. But then equally, the cruise lines like Princess now with the Sun Class or Star Class even, no, Sun Class, Sphere Class even, they're now inviting more and more kids on board or trying to entice more kids on board, which isn't really the type of environment that adults want to be around. It's interesting.
So, but then Royal do channel I do think they do. MSC actually, the booze cruise, that ship, they did channel kids well because they were up the back, out the way, and they had their own area. And that was really good because there were kids on there, but you didn't really see them. And Royal do the same. Obviously on Odyssey, I don't think they channel them as well. But on the Oasis class ships, they've got their areas, and on the new ships, they're doing it. So they do put people in different places. I don't think other brands do that as well. So then, if you're trying to get to that multi-generational market, you've got to consider, haven't you, that there's people drinking.
100%. That's what I'm getting at. Like Royal is very good, like you say, especially on the Icon class now more than ever. They've got their own pool area. The adults have their own pool area, and as you say, they're really good at creating those spaces. And I think they've nailed it more than anyone, the multi-gen cruise experience type of thing, and giving everyone their own spaces. It is the brands like possibly Celebrity, possibly Princess. I think more Princess. I think because Princess are like putting their toe into that market with this Cloud9 area, which has now not opened. By kind of going like, no, cool, look, there are kid spaces, but we're also primarily aimed at core audiences, the kind of, the empty nesters, the single income people, or, that's our core market, but we want the multi-gen pound or dollar. I don't know. It's something I don't think I've got my head around fully of where Princess sit in that market yet.
Well, and all you got to do is look at that horrible Princess group, not Laura's, the other one. And they hate kids in that group. If you mention kids, you literally get your head bit off. So that would put me off travelling with young kids with that demographic. If I were in that group and asked a question, I would not book Princess. And that's their problem, isn't it? They're fighting against their core demographic almost.
They're spending a lot of money though, because this year and last year within the travel agents anyway, we have like ship visits like you get invited to as well, but they've done some targeted ones on family days. So they were inviting travel agents to come on and bring their kids onto the Princess ships and kind of see the family entertainment, the family activities, and it's going down incredibly well. The feedback's been incredibly popular for it. Maybe it's just my narrow-mindedness and I can't see past it, but I'm kind of like going, there are, in my opinion, and Princess, if you listen, I apologize, but there are better ships to take families on, in my opinion, than Princess. But I guess if you're somebody who loves the Princess experience, you're going to want to go and take your kids and make sure they're looked after. So maybe Princess are onto something. And, once it's kind of, the marketing's got a bit better on it and it's a bit clearer to understand, maybe Princess are onto something really great and unique with this whole mixed, the more traditional cruise market with a really cool kids space and kids entertainment program.
And not everybody wants the Royal Caribbean. I mean, we love Royal Caribbean, but not everybody. I don't want the big ships. Those big ships are too much for me. The new ones, they look amazing. I'd go on out of curiosity, but it's too geared for families. It's amazing for families, but it's not for me. So if you're that family that you don't want that, then Princess is perfect. Or the older Royal ships, which we went on married out and absolutely loved it. So it's just finding the right cruise, I suppose, for you, isn't it? I mean, we loved Celebrity.
Yeah.
When we were on Celebrity, Joe was the only child on, and he had a whale of a time, and we got to spend time with him.
Yeah.
So I think you can do them all and enjoy all the different experiences, but you're not getting as many people. I mean, I don't think maybe I'm wrong, but when I was on Celebrity, I didn't see anybody letting the toilets on the floor before the ship set off, like I did on MSC.
That was me. The end of the first night.
No, as I said, I don't want to generalise. It's like we started off at the drinks package, didn't we? And we've ended up on kids, and
I'd say.
But I think that's the whole point of this, is that everything's changing so much that actually, what is cruising now? What is the brand? What are all these different brands? And as people grow and grow older or have kids and our life changes, you evolve through the brand. So I suppose you can't expect your brand to stay the same, because what was amazing for us when our kids were 10 isn't now. It's amazing, but our kids didn't enjoy having too many kids around them. So we're cruising without them this time in a suite where we can have more of a private area. So you evolve, don't you, and you change. And I suppose that's the point of people like Royal and they've got Royal, Celebrity, Seabull. You evolve through it.
I think that's the thing. I don't think we knew where we were going with this episode. We just knew there was something there and it was worth a conversation. But no, and I think that's that's the joy of this podcast and our relationship type of thing. I think that's the crux of this thing of like cruise is evolving, as you say. You knew cruise before drinks packages were what were a thing. I didn't. I kind of came in as they were kind of becoming a bit more mainstream. So I've only known ships that either don't offer them or that's just how they've always been. But then also just seeing how cruise is evolving. And I've been saying this, the last 10 years, the cruise industry has evolved and changed so much type of thing. There are more families cruising than ever. There are more kind of millennials and Gen Z cruising than ever before type of thing. And that is now the fastest growing market is the kind of, late 20s, 30s market. The things that appeal to those people, and there's studies out there now that Gen Z aren't drinking at the rate of alcohol that millennials are drinking at. So will these drinks packages actually go away again? Because by the time that generation are coming in and cruising heavily, if they're not big alcohol drinkers, that's not going to, it won't appeal to them. Whereas now I think the crux core market is millennials, and millennials are big drinkers, big drinkers. So I think that's why now we're seeing the rise and the revenge of the drinks package and the added ins and the bolted ons, because studies are that millennials like to see one price and go, great, I paid for that. I'm not worried about anything else. They like all included value. To some extent, Gen X are like that. And I wonder if that's more what's going on, is the cruise lines are adapting to the demographics who are cruising en masse, but maybe having one foot into the next generation as well. And that's why we're seeing this kind of sometimes mixed messaging of what type of cruisers are we trying to get? Yeah,
because it wouldn't be good value for my boys. They're not big drinkers.
Nope.
So it wouldn't be good value for them.
And that's right. I wonder, isn't it, if in 10 years time again, drinks packages won't be packaged in again, and you won't find as much incentive to upgrade to them. Whereas at the moment, definitely because the core market are millennial Gen X, big drinkers. That's the culture we grew up with, going out for the weekend, living for the weekend lifestyle. We're probably the biggest drinking generation, I would say, out there. The Gen X millennial crowd, and then obviously the Gen Z and I forgot what the next generation, Gen Alpha, are going to probably drink less considerably. So maybe it's just the cruise lines are experimenting and adapting to what people are asking for.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
See, there was a point. We were getting there. We didn't know the destination, but we were headed towards it.
Oh, and another thing we've confirmed again is everybody sells to you and nobody sells to me. And I've checked the email. It is right. So
I am aggressively on every single mailing list. I get some emails twice. I get the agent version and I get the customer version as well. I'm like, oh, I definitely know what's going on there.
Well, maybe forward them to me for that. Not getting anything.
So, guys, I guess we didn't know the destination this episode was going to go down type of thing, but I think it's that kind of evolving conversation around kind of the drinks package about what cruise lines are offering. Some brands are transitioning. I think we've talked about it before, but it feels like Princess are trying to reposition where the brand sits type of thing. And maybe it's landing for some of the demographic. It's not landing for all the demographics. And the big part of that, and this is where this episode started with, is things like when you book Princess Premier, Princess Plus, whether or not that's in its final iteration, because they've changed it so many times already now, is to be seen. We've had changes to Holland America Have It All. We've had changes to the Celebrity All Included. Virgin Voyages have just announced more changes to their bar tab now, just changing not how it works, but just the price denominations you can get. They've added more options than they've had before. So, this conversation around drinks value and drinking on a cruise ship is definitely changing constantly. So you never know. We could have another ramble about this time next year as well, where we try and chat about where drinks packages are next year. But I hope... But I hope you found it somewhat helpful, type of thing. It was interesting to us, at least, anyway. So I hope it was interesting to you guys. But Sarah, I know you've got a ton of information on your website about kind of the drinks packages. You've got your drinks calculator on your website. Where's the best place the guys can find all that?
Yep, so you can find it at cruisingwithkids.co.uk, and we've got lots on there about drinks packages, and that's why I find it so interesting, because I just feel like it's evolved so much in the last 2 years.
And if you guys are living in the UK and you would love to book a cruise with me, you can definitely find me anywhere online under magical-traveler.com, or all my social media, Facebook, Twitter, not Twitter so much, but Instagram, TikTok, and you can find me under magical, TRVLR. Other than that, guys, we hope you found this episode interesting, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.